YouTube? It's your girl Honey. Oh my gosh, it has been how long since I've made my fucking video. I've still not even finished the opposition series. It's just been going crazy and I've just had no time to get things together, but I've had some time today. Today's been a brilliant day despite the bad weather. Like over here in the UK it's raining, and I like the rain. I love being in the house when it's raining. It just really stimulates my Venus in Pisces. But yeah, I had time today because I'm going to do some readings this evening, and also I thought I'd make this video and hopefully try to edit it, upload it all in time for you guys to get it today. So this video is going to be Venus retrograde in Scorpio, honey, through the houses, doing it through the risings. I don't usually do these videos because I never have time to do these videos for everybody. It went retrograde on October 5th or 6th, and I know I'm a whole week late. But I'm going to blame it on Venus being retrograde in my 6th house. Because the 6th house is the house of work, daily routines, and my daily routines is all fucked up. I've got Uranus conjunct my sun. As you guys know, I keep on saying to you guys, Uranus being conjunct my sun indicates a lot of things happening without me being in control over. I can't always, my days are never the same. It's just an absolute mess. So this time has definitely taught me that I need to reevaluate myself, what I plan to do in the next 12 months, 6 months, because this is a really good time, regardless of everyone having their issues with Venus being retrograde and we all hate the energy, but we need to embrace the fact that this is a really good time for us to be on our own. Just thinking about our energy, what we're bringing to the universe. Are you doing enough? Do you want to do more? Are you feeling fulfilled? Because what's happening right now is what I do for a living is basically readings, and I'm going into other things, branching into other avenues. So now I'm thinking, do I want to be doing readings for the rest of my life? Do I not? I don't know. So changes have to happen, and this is the whole purpose of Venus being retrograde. It's because we have to reevaluate ourselves to see if we are completely fulfilled. And 6th house is the house of work, daily routines, etc. And you know, Venus is how you make your money. It's your commitment, it's your spending habits. And with Venus being in my 6th house right now, transit, I'm not really working as hard as I should be. And honestly, I'm gonna blame this on Venus being retrograde. I've got so much readings to get out and I can't get them out because I'm struggling to work. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Venus being retrograde through all the houses, all actually heavily affected by this right now. So Venus is very much at home in the sign of Libra, because Libra is all about relationships, partnerships, love, commitment, romance. And Venus is commitment, love, your romance, your expression. It's how you make your money, it's your gains. It's a beautiful planet. It's very superficial. It's now in detriment of Scorpio. Scorpio is all things intense, it's darkness, it's traumas. Venus in Scorpio represents the truth, right? Finding the truth in things. And it doesn't do particularly well in Scorpio because it doesn't express things so easily. During this period of time, we need to really sit back and reevaluate ourselves. It's all about self-reflection, because we've got to look at Venus. Like, Venus is very superficial, it's very surface. It's literally just what's looking back at you in the mirror. You've got to take this time to look to see, are you doing something wrong? Are you part of the problem in your relationships? Because Venus is going to be going retrograde into Libra. Okay, and when it goes into Libra, that's Libra's relationship. So a lot of our relationships will be trialed and tested. And the thing is, like, Venus retrograde does deliver trials, and it's mad. Like, I've had my trials, my friends have had their trials, and it's only been in Scorpio. So, and Scorpio delivers a really deep situation, you know. A lot of people during this time break up from their relationships. Some people start relationships very quickly. This is the wrong time to start a relationship, to even start talking to somebody, because this is retrograding. That person could be coming in lying to you about something. You know, be very mindful about who you're letting in at this moment in time. Scorpio is all about the truth. right? So Venus in Scorpio tends to deliver something being revealed during this time. But this is the best time to be very truthful and very honest with your partner, because the truth coming out in the way in which you never wanted it to come out that way. This is the time to be very truthful, very honest, and look at yourself in the mirror and think, am I doing the right thing? Yes. Be honest with your partner. This is the time to be real. It's not just relationships that are under the hammer right now with Venus being retrograde, because again, Venus is our love, and the things that we love is going to be affected during this time. So what I've always said is I love doing readings. I really do, but I'm affected by this. Okay, most Gemini risings will be affected by this, or Venus is transiting through your 6th house. All right, because Venus is how you make your money, it's your gains, and with it being in my 6th house is house of work, daily routines, employment. And at the moment I'm not able to deliver readings as quickly as I could because I've lost the passion. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my god, have I lost the passion completely? Like, what's going on? But what it really is the fact that Venus is retrograding, so it's making me reevaluate, is this what I should be doing for the rest of my life? Am I going to be making changes? What changes should I make? Blah blah blah. It's supposed to just allow you to reflect on yourself. So I'm delivering my readings, they're coming out, be patient, they're coming, right? But it's the Venus retrograde that's just making you feel, I can't be asked, or I don't want to do this right now, or I'm not delivering to the best of my ability because I know I can deliver these readings quicker, much more informative, I can do it better, but it's just, my energy is just not with it. And that's literally all it is. So a lot of people that have their Venus in transiting the 6th house in the house of work, daily routines, etc., this is how you're gonna be feeling, like, oh my god, what am I doing? So use this time to think about what other things, you might want to see yourself doing in the next 12 months, and then just make the steps towards that. So there's things that I want to be doing, I'm moving forward, and this is the perfect time. Even when Mercury retrograde comes, it's the perfect time to start making plans to get to the point of where you see yourself being successful. Right, let's start with Aries risings, honey, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So Aries risings, you guys have Scorpio in your 8th house. 8th house is the house of other people's resources, joint finances, okay? And you guys have Libra in your 7th house, house of relationships, partnerships, legal binding contracts, the law, etc. The 8th house represents other people's resources, joint finances, loans, debt, inheritance, sex, intimacy. Be very mindful of the resources you're getting from other people, because this is the house of darkness. All right, trust issues can come through this house, and you guys having Venus retrograde can lead to receiving a gift, receiving a resource. It could be money, it could be anything. And because it's Venus retrograding right now, you've got to think, wow, can I trust this person? Is this person giving me this gift in order for something in return, or are they giving it to me because they see the value in me? This is the worst time to get a bank loan. Do not get a bank loan during Venus retrograde. Venus is how you make your money. Venus is your commitment. And when it's retrograding, you may feel like, okay, I've got this money come through now, but I don't want to pay it back, or I can't pay it back now because I've spent it recklessly. The 8th house is intensity, intense feelings, intense emotions, and trauma. Things coming up from the past that you thought you had put behind. Venus retrograde will bring that to the surface and have to deal with it in this present moment in time. We've got to look at your 7th house. Okay, 7th house is where your Libra is, and Libra is all things balancing off the energy, the scales. And what Libra wants you to do is think in a diplomatic way. Use your logic, not your emotions. Should you be feeling things oh so deeply about this? Is it that deep to you? You've got to really take your time and think very Libra-like in order for you to get through the retrograde peacefully. Venus retrograde in this house as a transit is going to deliver problems with other people's resources, issues with other people. The houses of other people, which is house 11, 7 and 5, you can also get other people through the 8th house as well, because it's the house of joint resources. This time there may be an issue. Oh my god, and I forgot to mention, it's also banks, it's loans, it's inheritances. This is probably the worst time to go and get a bank loan, to go and put a mortgage down on a house. This is probably the worst time to do that, because you've got the Venus retrograde. Right now we've got Saturn sextiles Venus. So this is the time we've got to be so serious about our finances. So when we are investing in ourselves, if we get a loan, if we get a grant, if we get resources from anybody, don't just go out there and be reckless with your money. You need to be saving it and investing it back into yourself, making wise decisions, because Saturn is the planet that is restrictions, rules, regulations. It's all about being responsible, making responsible decisions, and Venus is your spending habits. Venus transit this house is a really good position for someone who may end up receiving inheritance, a gift, finances, something that will be a gain. But as it's retrograding, you've got to really be careful about what you're accepting during this time, because it can deliver you with the gain bringing you a problem. It's like you applied for a loan, you get a loan during Venus retrograde, and the way your mindset is right now, you're not really thinking clearly. So you're out here spending the money and you're not actually investing in what you initially were supposed to invest it in. Actually, one of my clients, she was overpaid something from a company, and instead of her going back to the company to say, well, you guys gave me too much money, she kept the money and she's been spending, having a good time, and they've got back to her already asking her to pay the money back, and now she hasn't got the money to pay it back. This is typical for Venus transit the 8th house retrograde. So be mindful of finances and things like that, because it's also looking at the 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of earned finances, so money is going to be of importance during this retrograde. Let's look at Taurus rising now. You guys have Scorpio as your ascendant, and most of my clients have their Pluto in Scorpio. Some of you guys have Virgo and Libra in Scorpio natally. You guys, man, this is probably a really hard time. You guys are probably feeling it, Taurus rising. So the 7th house is where your Scorpio is, and this is where your Venus is currently retrograding. 7th house is the house of relationships, partnerships, love, legal binding contracts, the law. At the moment for Taurus risings, you guys will experience a shitload of issues in your relationships, things being revealed, or even you guys being part of the problem, because you guys have the retrograde going through your actual 7th house. Scorpio is all about the truth, researching, things being revealed, the truth coming up. And also you've got Jupiter transit, transit your 7th house. So when Jupiter transits the 7th house, it usually delivers a new relationship forming, or something a big form of commitment happening. It could also be a marriage, or the start of a brand new business, or a new business partner, or you gaining from a partner. Whilst Venus is retrograding, you may end up losing through a partner. This may be a time when you may even end up breaking up with a partner, but the whole thing with Venus retrograde is you need to go through all of these issues that have come from the past. It needs to be brought to the surface, and that needs to be dealt with. And if you feel, because Taurus and Scorpio is very, very fixed, and you guys are not very good at getting past things or getting over things, but this is a time where you need to allow things to come to the surface, resolve it, and move on. And I say move on because you've got Jupiter transit your 7th house as well. I kind of feel that's going to be a slight protector for you. You've got the support of Jupiter, and even if you did break up with your significant other, Jupiter is going to deliver you with its blessings once Venus starts going direct again anyway. Right, Gemini risings, I've done that already. I just spoke to you guys about that with me being a Gemini rising. We've got Scorpio in our 6th house, Venus transits going through there. A lot of our work is being affected right now, and it's so difficult to get your work done. and we're feeling very lazy, very sluggish. And once it starts going direct, because Venus starts going direct from my 5th house, so we'll be absolutely fine once it starts going direct again, because we'll start having fun creating, being creative and doing what we love, and it will start to be a passion all over again. But this is the time where we need to just evaluate, what do we want to do? You know, do we want to do the same job for the rest of our lives for the next 12 months, 12 years, whatever? This is the time that we've got to reevaluate ourselves. Cancer risings. You guys have Venus retrograding in your 5th house. 5th house is the original house of Leo that rules the sun. It's the house of creativity, children, fun, sex. It's the fun house, gambling. This is the worst time to gamble, you guys. Yeah, you guys like to gamble so much things like, oh my god, I got a client, which I've had to cut this guy off because he's doing too much right now. It's pissing me off, right? But this guy, he called me last week and he asked me what's going on. So I said to him, look, you know, you've got Venus retrograde and it's happening in your house of romance, your 5th house. And he ended up getting with a colleague at work, and I'm saying to him, no, you can't do this, like don't do it. Didn't want to listen, but he went and done it anyway. That's fine, because you got to learn, right? And he did. So he got with a colleague at work and he was being intimate with her, and they had their own little hotel suites and situations going on. All right, as Venus goes into Scorpio, she gets very intense and she starts to say, I need you to be committed to me. Bearing in mind, they're both married, both have kids, and she's asking for full-blown commitment from him when she can't even be committed to him anyway. They both worked together, and she went to the higher boss and mentioned that they've been doing this and doing that and da-da-da. So he's in a sticky situation right now where he's fearing that he could lose his job. Okay, this is where intimacy, romance, your finances all into one. And this is in his 5th house. He only looked at her as fun, and that's okay, you know, but you need to be honest about your intentions in the beginning. At the moment, Cancer risings could be feeling like, oh, I just can't be asked to go out and have fun. I don't want to turn up. I don't want to create anymore. And his job, he has to be really creative. You know, he works in, I forgot what it's called, some type of graphic design stuff, and he has to be creative. And right now he doesn't feel like going to work, doesn't feel like creating. But this is typical for 5th house energy, because it's the house of romance, it's creative abilities, it's fun, it's the house of Leo. He doesn't even want to be leaving the house, and this is Cancer rising. So what you guys need to focus on is home life. Now, what I said to him is that he needs to focus on the structure of his home. So with him having affairs, you know, at work, he's obviously missing something at home. Cancer's home to the 4th house, which is the house of the home. You guys need to use this time to appreciate what you already have, without hurting people, without lying and cheating. You know, this is a really good time for you guys to just spend time at home and think how I got this house, how I got this family, how I got this wife, this husband, this partner. Where was I before I had all of this? Reflect back on yourselves. Leo rising, so you guys will have Scorpio in your 4th house, and Scorpio is very hidden, it's very private, and this is a really interesting place because a lot of Leo risings that I know, my brother's a Leo rising, my nephew's a Leo rising, and to watch my nephew as a baby grow up, to see how he's embracing his Leo rising. He's got a big little afro, like he's so cute and happy, and you know, I'm gonna witness him grow up into an adult and see how this Leo rising really affects him, which is gonna be crazy interesting. But anyway, Leo risings, you guys have Venus retrograde in your 4th house. Okay, 4th house is the original house of Cancer. 4th house represents your home, your security, your roots, your foundation. And with Venus going through there, that means there will be money spent at home, money spent on the family, money spent on a female family member, and it could also be money spent on the mother. To do a lot of focusing on your home environment. All right, home environment could also be, you know, your actual household. Have you got mold in your house? Has your mold gone crazy, excessive, and it's now, you know, it's getting into your clothes? You know, you're gonna have to calling a care guy to come in and resolve the issues in your household. It's literally things like that. Anything in relation to the security of your home. Are you in rent arrears? Do you need to pay your rent? Are you not have you not paid your rent by making a silly decision? You know, by spending it recklessly. A lot of Leo risings will vouch for me for this as well, because I say this to all my Leo rising clients. So I always say, people always say Leo is such an attention seeking sign, it's so this and it's so that, and I'm like, no, it's not that, it's not like that, it's not like that. I'm always like, okay, some of them do attention seek 100%, but a lot of them just seek appreciation. They want to feel valued. They want to feel like you like them. They hate being disliked, and they value feeling appreciated. And those of you guys who are Leo risings with Scorpio in the 4th house, you guys lack the appreciation so much. You guys didn't get it at home. That's why when you guys leave the house and you go out, you guys come across as your attention seeking, but because you didn't get the appreciation at home, you want to get it from other people outside. So this is a time where that old feeling might come back to surface of you not feeling appreciated. The best thing to do is do not let your emotions get the best of you. The 4th house is the house of emotions. Do not let it get the best of you. Think logically. Think, okay, if I'm not feeling appreciated today, what can I do to make people appreciate me without being too overly extroverted or putting myself out there? What can I do? Can I give someone a gift? Maybe I can make someone else feel appreciated. A lot of you people that have fixed ascendants, and I more so see it as fixed angular houses. Angular houses is house 1, 4, 7 and 10. And you guys that have fixed houses really have a difficult time accepting advice from others, or people giving you guidance. So what Venus, especially if Venus is very close to your IC, right? This is a really good time to just listen to what other people are saying and allow yourself to reflect. Is your house untidy? Do you need to tidy up your home? Do you need to buy new things for your house? Do you need to be more responsible with your home, with securing a property, securing a home? This is probably the worst time to purchase a property. I would never purchase a property during Venus retrograde, you know, having any type of surgery or making any changes to your face or your hair. Virgo ascendant. Now this is my boyfriend's rising as well, and even witnessing what's been going on with him over the past couple weeks as well. You guys have Venus retrograde in your 3rd house. This is not like the most exciting position for Venus retrograde to be in. The 3rd house is the original house of Gemini. It represents education, your siblings, local commute. Local commutes can also be like daily, your daily routines, your everyday routines, or the things that you do, you know, like your hobbies and interests, and your neighborhood, your community, you walking out every day basically. So what I've witnessed happen between me and my man, things have been coming to surface, and this is the house of communication. It's your mental, it's Mercury. So a lot of the things that he's been feeling over a period of time has come to surface, but it's not come to surface very easily.
Gotta remember, I'm a fucking astrologer, yeah? I see what's going on. So I had to just go in there and literally go crazy at him to make sure he tells me what the fuck's going on, right?
So we don't really argue, which is really nice. I think it's to do with his Venus position, but we don't argue, we have discussions, and discussions lead to questions from myself, because I have a lot of questions, and you guys will have to answer to somebody at some point. But there's a lot of like verbal diarrhea, or you guys will have something to say during this time, and it may not be a easy pill to swallow for the person listening, you have to allow yourself to just get it out and just say it. Things have to come out and come to surface, because you can't be sitting there holding this feeling in, this grudge, or feeling like something doesn't feel right or feel natural. You guys have to release this out verbally for that person to hear, because if you don't release it, it's going to come out at the wrong time, in the wrong type of way. And like I said, whatever you have to say or to reveal, it may be a hard pill for that person to swallow, but at least you got it out of your system and it's over with now. And you guys may also be feeling quite deflated, you know, with work, or even, you know, your creative abilities, because the third house is like, what comes from the third house is, well, I want to do horse riding, I want to do swimming, I want to do sewing, I want to sing, I want to do this, and there's lots of different ideas, because this is the third house of Gemini. This may be a difficult time for you to be completing a project, and I would not start a new project during this time. It's not a good look. You guys will not get that project completed if you started it right now. Libra risings. Yes, Libra risings, you motherfucking models of the zodiac, you lot are just my weakness, okay? Libra risings, you guys will have your Venus transiting through your first house to your second house. Because Venus is your beauty, it's your essence, it's your fragrance, it's your romance, it's your commitment, it's all of that going on. With that being in your first house, this is the worst time to try new things. Do not cut your hair. Do not perm your hair. Do not go and get plastic surgery, because you guys will feel the effects, bruh. You will feel the effects. You will look, it could be botched. It could just come out really, really, really bad. You don't want that, because you guys are, you know, the most attractive people of the zodiac. So you don't want to ruin your face, do you? Your face, your body. You don't want to ruin any of that. So don't touch cosmetics right now. Leave it alone. With Venus retrograding through your second house of finances, honey, this is a really hard time in regards to your money. Are you investing your money in yourself or in the right place? Has your money been frozen? The second house is the original house of Taurus. Taurus rules Venus. Taurus, or second house, is your pleasures, it's your earned finances, it's your assets, it's your collectible items. So Venus being in retrograde in your second house is going to affect your finances. Are you making less money than you did last month? Are you not working as hard as you really should be to earn your money? This is where you have to evaluate again what you're doing to earn your money. Do you need to make changes? Are you doing too much for too little? Are your clients satisfied with your work? But this is the thing, you guys have Jupiter in your second house. I'm not even going to sit here and act like you guys are so hard done by, yeah? Second house is the house of earned finances. This has been a really good year financially for you guys, because you guys have Jupiter going through your second house. Jupiter is a planet of expansions, honey. So this is just a temporary blip. All right, a little 6-week blip where you guys just have to reevaluate what changes you need to make in order to make sure your revenue is flourishing. Venus is sextile Saturn right now. Make sure you guys are always looking at Saturn to see what's going on. You know, is Saturn in aspect to your Venus? You know, does that mean that I'm going to be working a little bit harder? Saturn delivers responsibility, so that means you're going to have to take responsibility to your finances, where they're going. Am I paying too much on my debts for this? Am I paying too much bills for that? Am I overpaying someone something? There has to be a reassessment in how your money is coming in and going out. Scorpio risings, oh my gosh, you sexy motherfuckers. So Scorpio rising, Scorpio is home to the 8th house, it rules Pluto. Scorpio is intensity, it's sexuality, it's occult, it's darkness, it's all things magnetic that we dislike but we love at the same motherfucking time. So you guys who have Scorpio risings will have Venus retrograding in your first house. The first house is where your rising is. It's your identity, it's who you are, it's your persona, it's your coping mechanisms when you are in unfamiliar environments. You'll use this as the best version of you. Venus transit the first house, oh, you guys are probably having the time of your lives, just standing out more than usual. And it's mad because people who have Scorpio risings, especially the women, get a really hard time from other women. You guys can literally, okay, whenever we go out clubbing, right, the girls' toilets, boys, you guys don't know anything about this, right? But in the girls' toilets, you know, we can walk in, oh my God, I love your dress. Oh, I love your hair. Oh, your boobs real. Like, there's all this communication in the girls' toilets, and we end up making best friends with strangers. Scorpio rising girls have a hard time doing that. And it's not that it's their fault, but it's your energy that's a bit, something's not right about that girl. Something's not right about her. Scorpio rising, Pluto in the first house, same type of energy. And it's not even that you guys do it on purpose, it's just the energy that not everyone can take. When Venus would be going through transit your first house, it softens your energy a little bit, and it makes you a lot more approachable, more attractive as well, because you're going to ooze that feminine vibe, and people are going to be more likely to want to speak to you than they was so before. So with you guys having the retrograde, it's now going to be energy reversed. As Venus is very superficial, it can contribute to you feeling a lot less attractive, feeling like, oh my gosh, I've gone downhill, you know, oh my gosh, like I've put on weight, oh my gosh, I'm overindulging, or I'm doing too much right now. Or there's going to be some feeling of insecurities, your insecurities coming to surface. There may be a minor change that you might make to yourself that may make you feel better over time. But another thing as well, like, you've got to look at the first house. The first house, you know, is the first house. 12th house is directly next to the first house, and the 12th house is the house of the unconsciousness. So a lot of things that's happening in here, in your unconsciousness, can also be brought to surface. And it all depends on how or where your Venus is positioned anyway. There's going to be something from your unconsciousness that's going to be brought to the surface for you to have to deal with. Scorpio rising, this is the perfect time to meditate and do lots of spending time alone and listening to what the needs of your body is saying, is creeping up on you, and listening to what a lot of your unconsciousness is saying. And you get these messages through meditation. You guys who have Mercury in your 12th house, Neptune aspecting Mercury, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Just spend time by yourself, no sounds, no music, no phone better be on flight mode, all right? And you just listen to what the needs are of your body. Isolation is really important for Scorpio risings during this time, just so you can understand the whole message being penetrated right now, is that you need to understand what your body is asking you to do, because you have the 12th house influence. Best thing to do now, you need to look for where Libra is. So Libra will be in your 12th house. So everything I've just said about meditation, being in your own space, that's what you've got to do in order for you to feel okay. Sagittarius ascendants, yes, my big titty bitches. So yes, Sag risings, you guys, I know too many of you. Now, you guys are the philosophers, the explorers, the travelers, the know-it-alls, and you guys are going to be doing a lot of isolation during this time, because you've got Venus retrograding through your 12th house. This is the worst time, you people. This is the worst time to start a new relationship, meet somebody new, because 12th house is the house of what, people? Hidden affairs. Hidden romances, secrets, people lying to you, all right? 12th house is the original house of Pisces that rules Neptune. Nebulous house, nebulous energy. 12th house is unconsciousness, it's other realms, it's solitude, it's escapism. And Sag is seen as extroverted energy or sign. So you guys having Venus retrograde through your 12th house, you know, this is the house of creativity. You guys have to be at home alone, yeah, because you need to learn to be in your own space. and you need to use this time to create. It's very easy to get very depressed and sad when you're by yourself, but once you learn to really value your own time, your own house, your room, whatever it is that you have, and you'll learn to create from that space. So whatever makes you happy in your alone time, in your alone space, i.e. some people like to draw, some people like to write, like to sketch. This is what you need to do during this time. Or you have to be creating. It could be music. Most of the time it is music. I mean, you guys will escape through music. Like my sister is a Sag rising, and she has a ridiculous playlist. Like her playlist is like 500-600 songs long, and all she does is her headphones are in and that's it. You know, you guys will have to escape through music during this time. You guys have Libra in your 11th house. 11th house is the original house of Aquarius. The 11th house is your groups of friends, your neighborhood, your environment, entrepreneurship. All right, this is a really good house for anyone, you know, who's interested in entrepreneurship, honey. All right, we're gonna look at this house as a reflection of the 12th house. We need to think, okay, I've got a group of friends. Perhaps I need to distance myself from my friendship groups. Perhaps I need to reevaluate my friendship groups around me. Reevaluating your friendship groups, meaning that your friendship groups are they too superficial? Do you need depth now? Are they not as creative as you? Do you want to be around more creative people? Are they not making progress? You've got to reevaluate your friendship circles during this time. And because it's also the house of entrepreneurship, I always say this whenever I see it on someone's charts, you guys get into creating something and perhaps selling it on, or taking up being an entrepreneur, just looking it up and seeing whether that's something that is of interest to you. You never know, and I'm not going to be in the way of anyone getting their bag. Capricorn ascendants. Capricorn ascendants, you guys, man, you guys need to chill out. You're too serious. You guys have your Venus retrograding through your 11th house. 11th house is the original house of Aquarius. The 11th house is your entrepreneurship. It's the house of wishes and dreams and communities. It's that friendship circles, organizations, you name it, it's that house. Now, Venus retrograde may lead you to feel like if you have a business, because you guys are Capricorn risings, you guys work hard. You guys work real hard, and you always have something that you are responsible for. So during this time, you may feel like, oh my God, I don't feel like being responsible right now. I want to go and turn up. I want to go and do minor things that I'm not usually doing. It can literally make you feel like I'm not capable of having my business be successful, or I'm not capable right now of achieving my goals, or I'm not capable of having this or having that. It just puts a downer on your mindset, because a Capricorn rising's mindset is always responsibility, making money, success, very, very driven people, depending on the rest of the chart, of course. But this time you may just feel very like, oh, I just can't, or I feel lazy. You'll feel very, very lazy, which is very unusual for a Cap rising. This is the house of other people. You may be feeling a little bit dependent on, you know, why can't my friend help me out in the city? Oh my God, one of my friends, right? He's got his own business. He's got a very successful t-shirt line, and you know, he's getting very involved in going to different shows and stuff, and he's promoting, he's got stores and stuff going. He's got a celebrity friend. The celebrity friend doesn't bring him to any events, never invited him anywhere, which I think is shady, but he basically had an event to go to and invited, he met the celebrity friend at the event, and the celebrity friend didn't even mention to him, oh, how did you get here? They just took pictures and just basically didn't talk about how awkward it was that you, who just has a business, and I'm a celebrity, you know, we're both in the same place because we were both invited. That my friend, which is the Cap rising, basically feels like, well, why couldn't he just say something? You know, I'm coming up in this world and he couldn't appreciate me. I don't feel appreciated. And they were in a group together years ago, and the 11th house is the house of groups. So you're probably feeling like you're not feeling appreciated in your groups, or even praised for your success. Like, you can't even depend on your friends, it seems like. And the 11th house represents, you know, your social settings, your friendships and your groups. And usually people who have 11th house energy are very dependent on their friendships and their social circles. The 10th house is independence, honey. You guys have to look at yourselves and be like, okay, well, I don't need you, or you. I can do it all on my own. And during this time, you have to probably do it on your own, because this is the house of recognition. The hard work will always be recognized by someone at some point, and it starts here. Aquarius risings, you guys will have Venus going through retrograde in your 10th house. 10th house is the original house of Capricorn. Capricorn rules Saturn. The 10th house is the house of the father. It's the house of your career, it's public image, it's recognition. And you guys having Venus transit retrograde through here, you guys are probably having some issues with work, issues with finances, issues with your dad. All right, there could be arguments go on, or old things being brought up again. Venus retrograde will start making you question your goals, your achievements, you know, your status. Question, do I deserve to be up here? Or I don't feel like I want to be up on this pedestal anymore. I want to change careers. I don't want to be doing the same shit anymore. You may feel like you may have to go back to school. Your Libra sat in the 9th house. 9th house is the house of higher learning. You're probably feeling like, well, I want to change careers now, or I'm not particularly happy in what I'm doing. Remember, Venus retrograde is about you reflecting on yourself. So your reflection is going to be based on your career, your public status. You may feel that you're not doing enough in your career, or you haven't got a purpose. And you know what, this is one of the worst feelings ever when it comes to working for a company or doing a job. It's like, is there a point in my position being here? Some people can be made redundant, you know, some people can be feeling like there's no point in me doing this job to the best of my ability. You know, did you not get that bonus? You know, sometimes you may not even get that bonus that you anticipated, and it just demotivates. You feel very demotivated, and you've got to now think, okay, changing career might do me some good. So you look to your 9th house, house of higher learning, where your Libra is sat, and 9th house will show you, okay, if I don't want to do this job, but I want to do that job, but I've got to have the qualification. You've got to go to your Libra house and think, okay, I've got to take things very serious now. Have I got to go back into education? Have I got to go and do a course, a short course, just to get the qualifications that I need to get out and get that career that I really, really want? Now's the time to think about it. Now's the time to plan that career move. For my Pisces risings with beautiful lips, okay, you guys have Venus retrograding through your 9th house. 9th house is the original house of Sagittarius that rules Jupiter. 9th house represents higher learning, distant travels, foreign lands, languages, culture. It's the house of belief system, okay? This is where you look to find out if someone is an atheist. You know, we'll find out if someone's very religious, you know, they've got particular strong beliefs or opinions. Venus retrograde in this house will make you feel like reevaluating your belief system. Maybe you don't believe in astrology no more. Maybe you've just discovered astrology. Maybe you don't feel like you've found your purpose in life. Sometimes it can confuse you in regards to where you're heading. It's like, do I want to do this for a job? Do I want to move to a different country? Do I want to have children right now? It just kind of delivers this uncertainty with what it is that you want to do during this particular retrograde period. And sometimes it can be down to the people that you have around you. Like, I've got a Pisces rising friend, and I do a lot of listening when she's talking. So she's a Pisces rising, Sag Sun, Virgo moon. So her moon is literally conjunct her descendant. Her relationships mean a lot to her, a lot. And we've got a mutual friend, right? And the mutual friend, he's also a Sag, and he has a lot of networks and connects typical Sag energy energy. He's made lots of promises towards her and said, I can help you do this, let me help you do that. And the thing is, he's delivered on quite a few stuff, but she's become very reliant on him, and she's seeing different sides to his personality, seeing that, okay, he's not putting in the work, as much work as he should be at particular times. He won't turn up, or he's not very professional. And this falls, when we look at things like that, we've got to look at the 8th house of joint resources, the people's resources, and how that person is helping us, which is where your Libra is falling. You need to really see if these people are of any value to you. Are they going to change your mindset in regards to business, in regards to education? Because he was teaching her, so he's, you know, typical Sag energy. They teach you a lot. Is she now going to have to find another resource, someone else who can help her in regards to learning? And this is all like creative stuff, like, you know, Pisces rising people, a lot of them are actors, and a lot of them are actors, and a lot of them are creative people, and this is what they do. They're very creative. She just feels very stuck, you know, working alongside him, because he's got all of these resources that can help her, but she hasn't got them herself. So she's having to reevaluate now. Do I keep the friendship, the business friendship, or do I cut this person off completely because they're not offering me what they're supposed to be offering me? And it's making things very difficult for her, because this is her career, and it's like, wow, can I trust people in the business? This is the mindset. Remember, this is the 9th house. The 9th house is your belief system. Belief system can be religion, it can be education. It all just depends on what your belief system is and how it's affecting a part of your life. But what she's learning right now is that she can't trust everybody. And this is what I said this to her 6 months ago. I said to her, when it comes to my friendships, my new friendships especially, I do not allow my emotions to get too intense. And I don't do this because, I don't know if you guys have seen my Chiron video where I spoke about Chiron going through my 11th house and how much it's affecting my relationships with people. I now have to focus more on associates than having loads and loads of friends, and, you know, having my emotions get involved in stuff. I've had to learn the hard way. So I've been telling her, don't worry, you haven't got to maintain, you know, deep emotional connections with every single person that you meet. But this is typical for her moon as well. So, you know, it's going to be a learning curve for you Pisces risings. So people, hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed my video. This is so long, didn't mean for it to be this long, but if you guys have if you want to book a reading, please visit my website. I will be back up doing readings very, very shortly. I'm just very behind. There's a massive waiting list, so just wait. But yes, thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'll see you on the next one, people. Take care.